Look at it. X-ray. The white. It can't be seen. It is now. They are bridges. This is a massive construction. An entire setup on the surface of the moon that was built by an alien or a human or breakaway civilization. Who cares who built it? Look what's there. This is why it has the same reflectivity. People are not seeing it. I'm telling you guys, the moon is covered with this crap. Okay? They're built complex structures. Hypothetically speaking, think of this, guys. Glass tubes. I've always heard people talking on social media that they see a framing on the surface. And I asked some of them, what do you mean by a framing? They say, well, it's lines connected, 90-degree angles everywhere, like piping. It really does look like that. The tunnels could possibly let off a smoke or haze. Look at this. Seriously, guys, okay? I'm very serious about what I'm saying. These structurings, tunnels, and connections that are on the surface look blurry. But look closely. It's an actual surface structure that is deliberately blurred. The object itself looks blurred, but yet they are all connected. And these connections, whether they are glass, whether they are glass tubes, maybe everyone's walking around inside that, and that's the oscillation we're seeing. But we're seeing a reflective light. Even NASA themselves declare that there are colors, very many colors on the surface of the moon. So it's not something I'm making up. Chromatic aberration, my ass. NASA's never mentioned it. You trolls that come here and talk about chromatic aberration. You do know that chromatic aberration comes from a colorful surface. It's stupid little things. Fringing light. And fringing light is not a blue mare or a green surface. Fringing light is maybe some of the light that you're seeing around the craters. But hang on. It could also be the oxygen blue line and atmosphere, like our friend John Lear has taught us. We can see the color until we're very close to the surface, but not everywhere. I mean, the blues are apparent everywhere. But we're going to zoom in here to Aristarchus crater, and we're going to look at what looks like possible vegetation inside of that square crater. It looks brown, right? Well, that brown color that we are seeing is really green, I believe. So let's take a look at this as we zoom into it. Well, it's a 4-day weekend for me. I could be lying, telling you that I'm working Monday and Tuesday. Well, I am, but looking for UFOs. I want to really get cracking with that infrared camera and night vision digital camera. Several generations to night vision cameras. They're getting pretty exceptional. The one I have can also be used during the day. Get 3 times the color. The infrared integrated camera inside of the lens. Coded multi coded lens, of course, for the infrared camera and detection and clarity. Nice, very nice. Once adjusted, I showed it a couple times so far. Hey, we're seeing UFOs in Earth's sky. So if we're seeing them on the moon, if we're seeing them here, hello, they're everywhere. The universe is filled with many different types of species. We're just coming to that understanding, and not many of us actually, we're small pockets of people to realize and understand this. And for some reason, people think that the ones that believe that want aliens to exist. No, I don't think that they want aliens to exist. Some people can sense them. Some people are good at editing and can show surfaces. This is why I made this channel free, guys, because I want everyone in the world to come see what I'm getting. I am getting nicer equipment now, and always, even on my part, gathering, bigger monitors, now the infrared camera. We're getting there. We're going to see a lot more coming, and this weekend, a lot will be seen. Mare Crisium is so colorful. The white areas, it's not because they're white and reflective only. It's because they're very colorful. Absolutely colorful. But now here's the thing. Let's zoom up. And when I do, I always see these objects inside of the blue, and a lot of the objects. So at times, hypothetically speaking, of course, imagine some of these areas being glass covered cities, sort of to protect the areas, right, of the objects or buildings, etc. Constructed objects, if you want, that are underneath. But this is a very colorful Mare Crisium. Nothing tampered with, no color added whatsoever, just a very close-up of the whole surrounding of Mare Crisium. The entire surface is ever so colorful. But some of these glass areas have these massive towering structures inside of the blue, and you just have to wonder if it's, again, hypothetically speaking, if it's not glass. So we have areas with glass, and we have areas with smaller glass objects, but there are objects that look like even projects, and I'm not kidding. Take this area, for example. How can you not think that any of this is constructed, for Pete's sakes? It's all very clear. It's not pixelation. We're looking at a colorful. Do you see the individual color of the surface objects? It's not a chromatic aberration, guys. We're looking at colored structures. And yes, that very famous color, purple. And you know what? They actually look like purple rocks. Listen, the astronauts themselves saw purple rocks on the surface of the moon. The beautiful, complex bridges, structures, and look at all the bumps and objects side by side. I mean, look at it. Don't tell me that that's not, that is ejecta. Come on. That's a structure or object. They're all connected, and they're elevated off the surface. It can't be ejecta going over the dark. This is the inside of a crater, by the way. Everything here is the inside, the edge of a crater. Look at the crater up there on the mountain there where the black is. Inside, more structures, different levels that descend. Very, 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 very deep on the surface of the moon. But we can't see it because there's an obstruction to the view of the way we're able to see it. But when you play around with it, you can actually see the surface. You clarify it. It's not hard. You sharpen it. You adjust the contrast, the exposure, always the exposure. Okay? There's some chromatic aberration possibly, the little blue there. Who cares? That's not what I'm trying to show you guys. It's this. These are massive. The bridge right here is over 30 miles. That is massive. The crater at the back there, about 40 to 50 miles. This is all constructed side by side, very detailed. So now imagine how many levels descending inside of the moon could have other objects and, more stuff that they're hiding. Just imagine what they could be hiding. These are like projects. Look at them. Maybe they're not buildings, but I'll tell you what, they're definitely constructed objects. And If that's stone, that's pretty scary because that would mean the entire surface is chiseled out.